Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Blayn and I are back again for another strategy development session today. We're going to wait a moment just for everybody to join, and then I'm going to hand the reins once again over to Blayn to start today's session. We're going to be pretty much picking up from where we left off last week. We've done some work behind the scenes on the charity Darwin. So for anybody who's joining this now or watching the recording who hasn't been following these sessions, which I highly recommend you go back and watch the previous week's sessions. We're doing them every Tuesday. Blayn and I are building a Darwinex Zero for charity. So what we're doing is we're building strategies and systems live on stream. And I'm also doing some behind the scenes as well. Otherwise, it's going to take us forever to get a portfolio up and running. To be educational and informative for you guys who are aspiring algorithmic traders, but also to do something good and to, raise some money for charity, hopefully over the next couple of years. So welcome, guys. Welcome to the session. Blayn, I'm going to hand the reins over to you, dude. How's things?
Yeah, everything's good. Everything good with you?
All good. All good.
So, yeah, I mean, we can get right into it. Is there enough people in so far? I can't see.
Yeah, let's rock and roll. Rock and roll.
Awesome. Okay, welcome back. And we're just going to take off from where we were last week. And last week, we went over one of the Oxford strategies, the Friday momentum, and we built it last week and done some initial testing. We're going to take that a little bit further today because last week it was a bit slow because the way that I built it was instant execution, where we're looking at it from a pending order sort of state. So it's a lot more simplistic and we can actually progress and potentially by the end of the session, get the results of the strategy so then you can see what will be applied on the charity Darwin. Now, there is already a couple of strategies applied on Kieran, but we'll get to that later and we'll just cover this right now. So obviously, we remember how the system was built. If you don't, obviously go back to last week. But we are going to be looking at it, and we're going to be looking at management today. So we're going to test, I think it's the 3 markets. There was 3 markets that we tested last week that were profitable. We're going to continue on those, and then we're going to test them with different management styles. Now, this is something that you would do once you've got something that you're happy with in terms of from the raw state of entry. It's profitable. You've optimized it for like stop loss, take profits, and you're wanting to really kind of manage the trades. Now, this works really good if you're going for like bigger risk to reward. So if you're going for a 1 to 5 risk to reward, you need to make sure that you've got some sort of management in play that is either it could be trailing or it could be anything, and that it's such a big subject that you can get into. But we're going to start off with 3 simple ones today. Now, this first one, I'll just talk you through it. It's quite simple and it is pretty powerful depending on what sort of system we're looking at. So we all know the entry criteria is on Friday, we take the high and the low of each week. If the 10 moving average is above the 40, we're looking for a buy momentum on the Friday, opposite for sells. Now, hypothetically, let's say we get into one of those positions, we want to manage it. So we're looking at the once per bar, if there is a trade for each trade. Now, we can probably go into this later in weeks to come because you can make this quite sophisticated and you can assign groups to it. So you could split this into 3 positions and you could manage each position accordingly, all in the one sort of file. And this is the important part here. So this is for each trade that we're in a buy, we are going to trail the stop loss to the lowest price of the last 3 candles if price is above open price. So open price is where we got in. So we're only going to trail it if we're in profit. I do it this way because it allows sometimes the trade to kind of breathe and kind of dictate what sort of move it is. Because sometimes if you aggressively trail it, you could be in and out of situations very quickly and then the move goes without you. So we're going to test that. Obviously, vice versa for the sell side. When it's on a sell, looking for the highest price of the past 3 candles. And if price keeps going down, then we'll just keep trailing it the whole way down. You'll see when I load up MetaTrader and we can actually follow it on the live charts on the tape. So that's going to be the first management we test. The second management is a lot more simple. It's very, it's nothing to do with like, it is a trail, but it's more percentage based. So for each position, when price is 200% of the stop loss, so let's say we're going for a 1 to 5, when price is at a 2 to 1, that's when this will will start working. Then we modify the stops to -100, so that means we're trailing it to +1. So if we've got 2R locked in, sorry, if we're at 2R, it will lock in 1R, and we'll just allow the rest of the position to play out. If we remember as well, we didn't actually test the close. So we're meant to close on the Monday, but I'm going to just focus on closing at the end of Friday. We're going to make this more intraday, and it just means that we're not holding in over the weekend. So we're not worried about gaps, and we're just not worried about swaps. We're just going to take for the day. So I'm going to turn this one off for now, and we are going to test it on this. So let me just download this, just bear with me, and then we'll get MetaTrader up. Ignore that test, that was just a previous test done, looks terrible. Okay, so if I remember right, gold last week was profitable. So I'm going to show you how the trailing method works. I'm going to put in a 500. So that's going to be a 1 to 5 risk reward, and the risk level will be 1%. So we'll just do that just for now, just because it makes it easier. Multiplier, so that's just going to be 2 times the 1 hour ATR. So we're going to run it in this. Give me 2 secs while I get this screen up. Okay, so just got to wait just a minute or two for the MetaTrader, just the back testing thing to load, and then hopefully we can start to see some trades actually being taken, and we can show you how the trailing stop loss does. Now, I don't know if this will improve or not improve the results, but we'll test both and we can compare if this wants to start. Okay, just going to wait until we get into position. So obviously it's not going to trade too often when we're only trading Fridays and we're looking at MAs. Okay, that was too slow there. I'm just going to wait until we get a good example. Okay. What day was this? And then we can look at it. So 20th of April. Okay, I'm just going to restart it at the 20th of April. So then we can watch that trade. Just a question to everyone that's watching today. Has anyone actually tried to build any of the systems from Oxford Strat yet? And if you have, how have you found it?
I'm not sure. I think Rapalas is still here. I'm sure it's Quantum Ghost. He posted in my Discord. Was it yesterday? Took inspiration from Blayn and used the website he showed, Oxford Strat, and built one of the strategies on SQX. Tried to break it, but it doesn't break.
Yeah, that's if you can't break the strategy, that's a good sign. Right, let's see if this trails at all. It didn't, it just closed. Okay, bad example.
Yeah, Quantum Ghost is here. Yeah, using that website for inspiration. Love to see it, dude. Love to see
Awesome. There's so much that you can build from that. Like, as I said, you can build a whole portfolio just using that one resource. You know, just put a little bit of, you know, your own sort of thoughts into management or, you know, filters. As long as it's not over optimized, you can actually get quite a lot that's quite good on it. You know, start off with that and then move on to other resources. Other resources are, some of them are a bit, how would I describe it? A little bit different, but not to say that they're not good. Just sometimes takes a little bit more thought behind it. Where Oxford strategies are all pretty simple to build.
There we go. I've just I posted a link to. Oh, there's no space in it. I posted a link to the Darwinex server, and I also posted a link to my server because that's where Simon had posted the message. Although my server's like a ghost town because I rarely ever speak in it. Just too busy with the Darwinex server. A couple of questions. Kingsley, guys, I have a question. My Darwinex risk multiplier is currently 0.11 because I opened a position on gold by mistake and went into crazy drawdown. I ended up recovering, but my multiplier is way too low. How do I bring it up? Do I just keep opening very low lot sizes? Yeah, so your multiplier will take an average of 45 days and a 6-month period of like your previous trading decisions. So it will take probably a couple of months for you to see kind of a steady recovery. It does account for mistakes. So if you open one huge trade, it does account for that. But still, if the size was that much bigger than your average, then yeah, it's probably going to take you a month or so to recover. MK Amran said, evening guys, how we doing? What made you decide on your around 1% max drawdown for your strategies? Would it be the same if you only had 5 strategies? Will it be the same when you have 50? For me, I like an easy life. I don't like too much drawdown, personally. And to be fair, Darwinex scales that up anyway. Like my risk multiplier is positive, like 3.4x. So it's just, I don't know, it's a nice number where I know I can run the strategies at low risk, build capacity, add new systems without affecting the overall drawdown too much. If I get to 50 strategies, maybe I'll scale back slightly. It all depends on what the portfolio drawdown and correlation looks like at the time. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Blayn.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to apologize just quickly because I made one mistake in that file, so we're going to rerun it again. But to get back onto that, yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be like, it's not exact 1% for me. You know, it could be plus or minus, say, 0.5. So it's not like I need it to be 1%. If it's 1.5% and it's got like a good return to drawdown ratio, I'm happy with that. Depends on how often it trades. So there's lots of things that go into it. It's just a good base, you know, layer and level that you can really work around, especially with the risk engine at Darwinex. Like it really does complement low risk systems built in a portfolio. But also the fact, you know, psychologically, 1% drawdown is going to do nothing to your head. And then when you have a collection of these sort of strategies, it's quite crazy how, like, if you have so many uncorrelated strategies, I can't say that word again, Kieran.
Mine really struggles with saying uncorrelated. He says uncorrelated usually.
Certain words I just can't say with being Scottish, I'm afraid, but that's one of them. but yeah, back to my point, like, the more you add and stack, as long as the correlation is good, your max drawdown is not going to get massive. I think Kieran, like how many strategies you have, and your max drawdown is like 2%. It's crazy small, and you wouldn't think having so many strategies would get to that sort of max drawdown, but that's just it. Like, you know, if you're in a 2% drawdown, you're not worried. You can make decisions like without it being emotionally based. So you can actually make good decisions rather than, you know, panicking, thinking you need to act quick. You know, to get to 1% drawdown in a lot of these strategies, it's not going to take one day. It's going to take months, sometimes maybe weeks, depending on the strategy, but months. So, you know, in the back of your mind, you've got a long time to start making these changes. Whereas if you're risking 1%, 2% drawdown is 2 trades. So again, it all depends on how you manage risk and how emotionally connected you are to these situations. But I've just found that the easiest way to be kind of hands off, let the strategies do what they've got to do without actually having like emotions to come into play, is just to have a low risk based system, because you could have 20, 30 systems and somehow you're stacking it to make 20 to 30% a year with such low drawdown, which is crazy. But you can get to that stage. Like, you know, there's I think XAQP is a perfect example of a really low drawdown to return at the moment.
Tail enters the chat as well. Damn, looking good, sir. How we doing, Mindful ICT? Hope you're all good, my friend. My handsome doodle books. I need to stop reading your comments out loud. How we doing, Tal? Hope you're all good. Kingsley, thank you. Previously, my multiplier was 0.26x when I was risking $1,000 per trade on my Signal account. Now the multiplier is 0.11x. Do you think I should increase my Signal account's risk to 2.5k per trade to account for the lower risk multiplier? No, don't try and trade your value at risk. That's a loser's game. Just try and stick, like, the risk engine favors consistency over anything. So I would just try and keep trading the size that you trade now and let the risk engine adjust. Ultimately, it doesn't matter what you risk on your Signal account. It only ever matters what is risked on the Darwin. So I would just let the risk engine do all the heavy lifting for you.
I think that's just one of the biggest, things not to do, is just keep changing your risk size. It's just got to be consistent with everything. If you're risking 1%, keep consistent with 1% risk. If you're risking, whatever it is that you're risking, just keep consistent with it. It rewards consistency.
Yeah. I actually asked one of our quants at Darwinex Labs. I asked him earlier if I should be increasing my size across the board because I'm getting priced out of gold on XAQP. So when I'm trading with an ATR-based stop on some of my strategies, because gold is so much higher, like price-wise, is so much higher now, and ATR is so much higher, I'm priced out, and it's trying to trade like a 0.004 lot, but it's forcing the minimum lot size. So the risk has increased on gold for me dramatically. So what I've done short term is turn them off while I figure out what to do. But I think I'm just going to build in a trade blocker when ATR is too big. So it will block out some trades. But yeah, that was an interesting one about risk that I had to think about today. I'm not a fan of changing the risk, but I need to do something about that.
Yeah, crazy conditions that were minimum lot sizes on like 100k account.
Yeah, well, you've been struggling for a while on silver, haven't
you? Yeah, it's been a nightmare.
I hasn't been able to trade silver for months.
Yeah, it feels like it's criminal.
Especially silver. Silver's such a stunning pair to trade. Well, yeah, to trade.
I think that's just such a big benefit with currencies. Like, even ATR going up, you're still fine.
Yeah.
Even though it's such a hard thing to trade.
Yeah.
Anyway, it took me long enough to get an example of the trail and stop. So hopefully this one does work. So this is the one where when we're in profit, it will trail the high of the last three. But the trail has got to be in profit. So even though it's in profit right now, it will not trail it. Let's see if this can work out.
Ooh, what a question. What are some of the most powerful filters or indicators you guys like? I mean, I think it's you guys like, and what works is kind of a different question. So the filters that I like is closing trades on the same day. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's a filter that Blayn told me about a while back. He's like just cutting trades on the same day, and I put it on to some of the strategies that I run, and I noticed it would stop me from holding losing positions and winning positions, of course. But it was turning my strategies from more of like a yeah, we'll just get in that trade and run it to no, this is an intraday strategy targeting X amount. It's got to cut at the end of the day so that you're not like, I don't know how to explain it. Like if I get into a bullish run on dollar yen on the Monday and it's going to revert on the Wednesday, I'd rather not hold it for 3 days, pay fees, and then get taken out break even. I'd rather just take my money on the Monday, do it again on the Tuesday, do it again on the Wednesday. So that's a filter that I like. Indicators, strategy quant has opened my eyes. So I love Bollinger Bands, Kelton Channels, Ichimoku, Arun Cross, like just the most random indicators you could think of. I don't personally put strategies together with them, but I do use them a lot in strategy quant.
For me, indicators I wouldn't say there is one perfect indicator as to like default trial on every single strategy. The filters that I'll use are the ones that are logical, that are clearly presenting themselves, like similar to what Kieran said. Like, if one of the biggest factors in trading is swaps and costs are some of the things that kill you the most. If you have a way of taking away costs without actually harming your P&L, that's such a big win. That's one of the biggest wins that you'll actually have. Filters as well, like I think we went over it 2 weeks ago, Kieran. Like, it was actually when we're like looking at your strategy on the NASDAQ, the filters that are just staring at you in the face. We looked at like time horizons into when that strategy was most effective. And it was most effective around New York Open. Everything else was like break even-ish. So for us, that was a filter that we're like, right, it's pointless to trade the rest of the time. Let's only focus in this 3-4 hour horizon where it's clear that this is where the strategy has its edge. Indicator-wise, anything that's adaptive to what's actually happening are some of the best as well. So for me, it's like ATR. ADX is a decent one as well. And I like an RSI and a Bollinger Band. So they're the four that like I've found some good success with like default on some of the breakouts stuff that I'm trading. So like breakouts, we're looking at ADX, so we're wanting to know when prices, like the weirdest edge that I've found on certain things is when ADX is low, meaning that volatility is low, that's when some of the biggest breakouts happen. So that's on some of my strategies, just FYI for IME. So there's a little bit of gold.
I think one that fits perfectly into what you were saying, just Blayn, as well, is the one that I told you about yesterday. So I was going through some things with a friend who is learning how to do this yesterday. And because I was teaching him and kind of helping him with stuff, it made me look at my own systems in more depth. And you guys know, if you come to these sessions a lot, I talk about one of the strategies that I have quite a bit, which is the S&P 500 system. I basically buy the cash open on a Sunday evening if the Friday is bearish. And we were looking at it and I was showing him how to analyze your reports in more detail. And like Blayn said, some of the filters are just staring you right in the face. And I was looking at my quant analyzer and I was like, how have I not picked this up before? I know that holding S&P contracts overnight, you pay, like you're going to pay a swap fee, right? So you're going to pay negative swap fee. So you're basically paying to hold that trade. Now, the only time my P&L was positive was on the Monday. The Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday never held a trade through to Friday over my backtest period. They were all red days overall. And I was like, so I'm effectively paying to hold losing trades. It just didn't make sense. So I added a simple filter of closing the trades on the same day. So closing the trades before rollover on Monday, and the system completely transformed. I think it went from like, I mean, I say completely transformed. It didn't do much. It was a pretty good system anyway, but it went from a 1.3 profit factor to a 1.7. The win rate went from 58%, I think it was before, to 65%. The return over an 8-year period went from $3,500 or 3.5%, with a 1% max drawdown, to 5.5% or $5,500. So the system just got so much better just by me saying, as Blayn said, I'm not going to pay unnecessary costs to hold losing trades. And it was a simple filter. It was nothing to do with the chart. No variables as in indicators or anything like that. It was just looking at, okay, when does this system perform? When does it not? And it was clear that holding trades across a week wasn't profitable. So, okay, we'll stop doing that from this week moving forward. And so that's a change that I've actually made this week with that S&P system. And, you know, it's by far more robust now. I also like, and I feel more comfortable with my strategies that close positions on the same day. It's just a personal thing for me. So if I can ever add a same day close into a strategy, I will always do that.
Yeah. Now, I've come onto TradingView just so we're not wasting time on MetaTrader. Of course, this happens now. Because I'm just going to show you the management to the two systems we're going to be testing today. So it's very simple. Hypothetically, let's say we get in the position here. Let's go for the 1 to 5. Let's make it 1 to 5 anyway. So let's say it's hypothetically a winning trade. Right. So every trade we're looking to risk 1% to make 5%. Now we've got two. We've explained we've got two managements trailing every third, the lowest of the third candle when influencing profit, and also when we're at 2R, we're locking in 1R. Now the first system, just to explain it, let's say we're getting a position here. This is the next bar close. Okay, we're in profit, but we're looking back to the lowest price of the past 3. 1, 2, 3. It's below the profitable price, so we're not getting in there. We move up to the next bar, close this bar here, looking back 1, 2, 3. Okay, the low is still not there. Now we're looking at close of this bar. We've got, 1, 2, 3. Again, the low here is not in profit, so we're not trailing. Okay, now we're looking at the close of this bar. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, we can then trail the stop loss to the low. This is the lowest low of the past 3 when we're closing here. And so on until we hit the 5R or until this then gets triggered. So what we're doing in the first management is we're allowing it to breathe first, then we're trailing. And this is good when things are trending. Obviously, if things are going to be choppy, there's not much else we can do. But this is one method that I do have, and this is to target bigger targets. Now, the other one I use as well, and it's when we're at 2R. So risking 1 to make 2, we then lock in 1. And this will stay here, and we'll let it breathe so then it can hit the next target, which is 5R. So I hope that just kind of shows and explains what I'm trying to do with the management here. And the whole point is that we're taking a breakout. We're wanting to capture as much of the move as possible intraday. So this is fine for intraday moves because we're going to be closing at the end of the day. So let me just run the test, and we'll see if it is better. So let me quit this. Apologies, it's been a bit messy because I thought that everything would work, but it's not been at the moment. So we'll run this test. I think in the meantime, or depends how quick this test runs. Yeah, just FYI, I've had problems with my MetaTrader at home today, so it's not been testing as quick as it should be. So I don't know if this
isn't good enough, Blayn.
I know. It's disappointing. Oh no, we're getting trades. Okay. So you'll see like there's different sizes of wins. You got like a bigger win, you got like a smaller win, and then obviously you've got your usual 1% loss. But some of the losses will be smaller because we're closing at the end of the day. So we'll just see what sort of result that we get today on this, because I believe that this was one of the profitable ones that we had on gold from last week. Which gold's a good thing to build things on because it is very volatile, but it can also be quite tough to build things on as well. So we'll give it a go. But you can see here, like clearly from the equity curve, we're getting some, like when momentum's on our side, we're getting some big wins. When it's not, we're getting small wins and small losses. So that's like the key thing to this management. You either get 3 outcomes: small win, small loss, big win. And the whole point is the big wins, let's say they happen 10, 20% of the time, it's going to massively outweigh the small wins. So these strategies are really good to incorporate in a portfolio with other negative risk rewards. Like Kieran was the one that introduced me to negative risk rewards. I was always longer term targets, so my P&L swings would look a bit more erratic than what a negative risk reward system would have. But the bonus of having both within the same portfolio is you're capturing big moves, you're capturing small moves, and together they actually work very well together.
Mm-hmm.
So, see what I mean? Like, this is taking ages today for a pending order system.
It's because it knows you're on stream, dude. It wants to make your life hard.
Yeah. I can only apologize that this is taking so long. Normally, pending order systems are done within a minute.
I wonder if, do you want to send me the file and I'll see if I can test it?
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Let's see how fast mine goes.
Yeah. I'll be so disappointed if it's fine. What is this one? Minute be free. Send you. Just so everyone knows as well, I put the main system of this that both had a pending order and instant execution within the Discord if anyone wanted to sort of play around with it or modify it or do what you wish with it.
Rob's asking, what's the difference between paid FX streamer versus free? I think with free you can only make 10 links, so you can build like simple strategies. But if you're trying to modify variables and stuff like that, there's no chance because you can only draw like between 10 different blocks. So you might be able to get like your trade logic down, but if you want to add some fancy management in or something, good luck.
Yeah.
What asset and time frame is this running on?
This is on gold, daily.
Gold daily.
Quite surprising.
Let me see. Check your message, Kieran. Boom. Can do this, make it I don't know why that's made me laugh so much. Do this, can't I make it organized looking, or should I leave some space for extras? I'm not sure what you mean. It does look organized. The only thing is, like, just be careful with that, because that's gonna the way you've got that set. So Rob has it set to a no position block, then a condition, then a buy now, and then a condition to close positions, which is great. You've got the separate condition to close positions, but that will always be in a trade if the condition is met. So like that will trade multiple times per day. Like let's say, for example, let's let's say you're buying when the RSI is below 70. Price might be tanking and you buy, get stopped out. It'll buy again because the same condition is still met. Stopped out again. So just be careful with that. Like maybe run it once per day, depending on what the strategy is, once per bar, once per day, etc. Yeah, mine's running okay, Blaine. It's saying 16 minutes to finish. I don't know if that's similar to what yours was. It's coming down though.
Yeah, I don't know if the data has changed because I'll get different results as I was last week. Ironically.
Yeah, mine looks the same as what you're getting now. I think no, it doesn't. Mine looks different. Is that on gold daily?
Yeah.
On real ticks.
On real ticks, yeah.
Yeah, mine's looking way different to you.
Is looking better.
Nope. When you starting your testing from 2018?
Yeah, man. How many tickers do you guys trade? Do you mean Darwinex tickers or?
Yeah, mine looks nothing like yours, bro. Mine, yeah. I'll send you a screenshot of mine so far. Also, I'm down at like 90k equity, so I don't know if the risk is. That's why I don't think I changed any of the input. What inputs have you got?
504.
There we go. Let me rerun that test. Multi-strat instrument. So we trade. Well, I trade Nasdaq, S&P, silver, gold, dollar, yen, pound, yen, euro, yen. All the FX majors apart from dollar Swiss.
Everything that moves fast.
Yeah, and Euro CAD as well. Just the one exotic pair.
Yeah, I trade Aussie yen, CAD yen, pound yen, dollar yen, euro yen, euro dollar, pound dollar, gold, Nasdaq, DAX, S&P 500, and oil. I think oil.
Blaine, please do me a favor and say oil on the road.
Man.
Oh god. Yeah, mine still looks different even after changing the inputs.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening today. This is a bit of a crash. I need to have a look at this file again.
Although, did you say you started yours at the beginning of 2018?
No. Sorry, it's from June.
Yeah. So it looks like it's matching up now.
Yeah, I think because it's pending order. Like normally, I test everything instant execution, so then it's. Let me. Maybe what I'll do is I'll spend the next I'll spend tomorrow figuring it out, and then I can post a short video into the Discord to explain everything. But we could move on and just have a look at the portfolio of the things. Do you want to go over the 3 strategies in Quant Analyzer? The ones that you into the, or do you want me to stick it in my stuff?
And stick it in yours if you want. I also have one more to send you.
Okay.
Let me send you the other one. Because I sent you the 3 earlier, didn't I?
Yeah.
Where are we? XAQP, Charity Darwin. Bugger. Where have I saved that? XAQP. Yeah, I've sent you the HTML file for that one as well. So you should have. So for the Charity Darwin so far, I've uploaded 4 systems. They are active. We've made $40 thus far, so we're absolutely balling. One of them is a Ichimoku system generated by Strategy Quant. on Canadian yen. We have an ATR based system on dollar yen. We also have a Bollinger Band and Keltner channel system on euro dollar, all running on the H1 timeframe. And then I also have an Asian breakout system built on using Perfectus AI on dollar yen using the daily timeframe. Perfectus AI is pretty much the same as FX Dreamer, albeit slightly more modern and nicer to look at. Owned by Max, who is one of our traders here at Darwinex. He's Darwin, he's PYE. He's the founder and owner of Perfectus AI, which, like I say, rivals FX Dreamer. I use both. Blayn uses both, but I actually built that one using Perfectus AI.
Awesome. Yeah, it was a pretty good one when we went over it. So thanks to Max for that one.
Yeah, shout out Max and Perfectus.
So yeah, I'll have to update this with the systems that I've been running. I've just been having problems with my stuff all day at the moment. So we'll just go over this for now, and then I can give an update hopefully tomorrow with the sort of results as to what's actually live at the moment. But yeah, so this software was actually shared by someone that was already in one of the live sessions before I joined, wasn't it, Kieran? I think it must have been November.
Yeah. I can't remember who shared it, but I said it's because MetaTrader calculates the Sharpe ratio weird, and it's always way overestimated, and then Quant Analyzer underestimates the Sharpe, whereas this is kind of more accurate.
Yeah. It's visually quite good compared to Quant Analyzer, but Quant Analyzer does have a lot of good features that, like we described about like filtration and things like that. So I would still choose to use Quant Analyzer, but if you're just looking at a report visually, and you're wanting to give metrics to people, this one's probably better. But yeah, from the 4 systems that Kieran has kindly put into the charity Darwin, we can see that the equity curve already looks pretty beautiful. That's probably the best way I can describe it. But the returns are, at the moment, modest. And that's probably because of the low risk sort of approach. So, Kieran, does every system have 1% drawdown roughly?
I believe so. Yeah. So the CAD yen system has a max DD historical of 0.72% equity based. Dollar yen ATR system is 0.94%. The euro dollar system is 0.67%. And then what was the last one? The dollar yen Asian range breakout is 1.16%, so slightly higher. But that system is on paper, of course, like we're now testing it live with the charity Darwin. On paper, that system was phenomenal. So I'm happy to take slightly higher risk with that. What's the overall portfolio drawdown with them all combined? Out of interest.
So with them all combined, it's 1.28%. So if we actually think about it, the return to drawdown right now is absolutely insane. And this is exactly why we risk such low amounts, because, like, hypothetically, let's say I always think of it from this way. Would you be happy with half the returns with double the drawdown? And that's thinking from a really worst case scenario. I'm just thinking from a mental sort of state. And would I be happy with 15% return with a roughly about 2.5% drawdown? Yeah, I absolutely would. Like, obviously, because we're going to add more systems into it anyway. But as it is right now, we're averaging about, compounded annual growth is 3.37% a year with a 1.28% drawdown. This is really powerful when you start adding more strategies into the portfolio, because you'll find that drawdown, it will increase the more systems that you add, but you'd be surprised how much it doesn't really increase by that much, as long as you're looking to make sure that none of the strategies are correlated. I can't say it again. Gonna have to find a different word for that. Oh man, but you get what I'm trying to get at. So as long as they're not showing that they're doing the same thing at the same time, that's what I'm going to say instead at the moment. um, then you're gonna be good long term. This is why you trade different assets. This is why you could build 100 strategies on one sort of asset, as long as the entries, management, stop loss, as long as like everything's different from each one, you'll tend to find that they actually do work together, and you could potentially just trade one asset, as long as you've got different entry criteria and things like that. So yeah, I would just be careful if you're building, let's say you're building a daily breakout bar. Let's say you're trading the daily breakout bar of the 50 on the daily. And then you're like, okay, let's go down to the 4 hour. Let's see if it works. All right, okay, maybe it works on like a 200 bar breakout on the 4 hour. You tend to find that the daily and the 4 hour of those sort of like breakout levels will overlap and be the exact same point quite a lot of the time. So you're actually risking double than what you're actually thinking when you put it in the portfolio. So the best way to do it is have it in the one sort of same project and put if the breakout level does not equal the same breakout level as the 4 hour, then you would trade it. So then it's giving you two totally different entries rather than doubling down essentially on one. So that's an important thing to think when you're building these strategies. But overall, you want to get to this sort of stage, and flashy systems, you don't need flashy systems to get to this stage. You just need good solid systems that pass all your tests, are robust, have a decent win rate. Like, you could have a system that's like crazy good returns, but if it has a 20% win rate, you're going to come into a few different problems. The first one being, can you handle winning 20% of the time? Even if I had a system that was winning 20% of the time, I know I couldn't trade it, because I would think mentally, I want to see 8 losses and 2 wins every single sample of 1,000, like as in like 20% of the time I'm only winning. So having like some sort of management to trail like what I was showing you is really good into keeping that win percentage higher. Also, Monte Carlo, when you have such a low winning percentage at 20%, the Monte Carlo is going to be everywhere. And it's very important to understand how that would work in Monte Carlo, because that consideration will be taken into the VAR system with Darwinex as well. So if you've got like a 20% win rate, Monte Carlo's predictions is going to be all over the place. So therefore, the VAR will naturally increase, because we don't know what the expected value is over the next 100 trades if you're only winning 20% of the time. So it's very important to kind of have, like, I wouldn't say force winning percentage, but if you can find ways to get the winning percentage higher without sort of sacrificing too much of the gains, it's a very good happy medium place to be, mentally, but also from that standpoint of the risk engine, which we can see in this system. I believe like Kieran does have a lot of trailing systems on these, that allows them to get to that 52.42% win rate, which is pretty healthy and is a lot more predictable from a Monte Carlo point of view. So it's very important to like sort of get to that sort of stage. Whether that's, you could just have your 20% win rate system in there, but sort of complement it with like a high win rate system. So then you're getting that happy medium. This also keeps drawdowns healthier. So you'll see the peak drawdown was 1.28%, but is it maybe more than that? No. It is 1.2. But if you look at how it acts 90% of the time, it's not even below 1% drawdown, which is very surprising. And it seems a bit unbelievable, but that is the beauty of adding robust systems, having that variety of different assets, having that higher win rate percentage. Because if you've got a 20% win rate, you're going to see spike down, big spike up, spike down, big spike up. And although the equity curve might look like this over a larger sample size, on the month to month it won't. So yeah. What time is it? 5:02. Not too bad. I mean, Kieran, do you have anything to add to this? Because obviously it's been a bit of a sort of nightmare one for me with the testing today, I'm afraid. So I can only apologise to everyone that's joined us for that.
Is it still running the test?
No, it's not now. It's just
I was going to say mine finished, and it's it's not nice.
yeah.
I think I had a 2% return overall with an 8% drawdown, but it's not what we'd be looking for. I think it needs to be magnified.
Like the result I got last week. Let me see if I can bring up the original file. The original file will work. It's just going to take ages.
What did you change with it?
I just changed it into a pending order system, and somehow just doesn't like it.
I just see a question from Money Vidi as well. If I receive an allocation in Darwinex 0, do I have to stop trading the main account and switch to the allocation amount or just carry on trading? You should always carry on trading your Signal account. Your allocations are held on your Darwin, which is kind of the asset management layer to your account. So you will never touch that capital. You will never have to trade or adjust your size. Just keep trading your Signal account and it gets copied across automatically. And then Rob, I wonder why you didn't answer me. I was 30 minutes behind on the stream. Did you see my question? Yeah, I did see it, but if you're 30 minutes behind, you should have seen the answer. Heard the answer? I don't know. You may have to watch it back. But yeah, I did see your... I'm presuming that it was a question about paid FX streamer versus free. And I just said the difference is you are limited on what you can export. So FX Streamer free has a limit to 10 connections between the blocks. So you can probably get the majority of your trade logic built, but if you want to put some additional management in or trading stops, stuff like that, good luck. You're probably not going to be able to do that purely because you'll run out of connections.
Yeah. Although you probably will still be able to build some semi-decent, I would say semi-decent systems from 10 blocks. Like, you'd be surprised.
Yeah. I have quite a few that, I mean, I haven't paid for FX Streamer Premium in ages, and I can still fiddle with the majority of my systems. It's very rare that I have to because usually I'll just pay for a month of FX Streamer and go on like a mad spree of building strategies. But like Blayn said, there's so much he can build with under 10 connections anyway. That it's kind of like, especially if it's like a one-way strategy, as in it only goes long. Well, you've already saved yourself a couple of blocks by not going short. So yeah.
I'm just going to do one final test to see if this will...
One final test. Come on. Have you got the old report saved?
No. I started doing because I started deleting heaps of files on my computer because my MetaTrader was starting to fill up. So I've cleared a lot. I just went for like a mass delete in terms of like a lot of the files I had from last week.
Yeah, just an FYI, if you don't have a lot of storage space, you'll probably struggle doing this because I think I have, I think I checked earlier, I think I've got 200 gig of tick data on my PC. Open, where's WizTree? And I also have my my server, which has like a terabyte, I think, of storage. And I've used a couple of 100 gig on there as well, but I don't ever run tests on there. I just run tests on my PC. 223 gig, 221 gig, data roaming local metacos. So I've got 172.8 gigabytes of tick data on my PC that I'm using now. But I think I've got a terabyte of storage on this PC. So I'm using 20% of that just for tick data. So you got to make sure that you're prepared to be able to save a load of files.
Yeah, the recommendation I would have in that is just have your set markets and what you're wanting to actually test. Stick to them, and then if you're wanting to expand, then you will need to either delete the data, or another option is obviously to use a VPS or server if you have one, and just purely do it from there. So it's not eating into your own computer's memory as such. So yeah, two options, I suppose, really.
Or by a hard drive.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is that did you do a final test, Blayn?
It's still running.
It's still running. Let it up. Oh, sad.
It's not looking much different.
It's such a sad system.
See, I don't know if it's just the data's different again. Remember how we had that problem at one point?
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't noticed anything today. Mine's been okay. Yeah, we had this weird thing probably 2 or 3 weeks ago now, wasn't it? And it was like the data changed for like a few hours or like a day. And so I started panicking because I was rerunning all the tests on my strategies. And they were all coming back like really poor. And I was like, well, this can't be right because they're performing live really well. And then I reran the test the next day and the data was fine again. It was as if the server was, when we were downloading the data, it was as if the server was failing to transmit all of the tick data across. So there was loads of gaps, wasn't there, Blayn? Yeah.
Look back at the last stream just quickly to see what markets were tested. The ones that I've noted down.
Is this on gold? Wasn't this on SP 500 before?
No, I'm pretty sure it was on gold. I'm just going to quickly double check. I wrote them down, the ones that all worked. Sorry, just 2 seconds. Yeah, it worked on gold last week.
Oh, it did work on gold.
Yeah. This makes it even weirder.
Rob's sending me some DMs on Discord, so I'm just going to answer here because it's easier than typing it out. I would change the entire history. I wouldn't test back to 1971. A, the tick data is going to be non-existent, and B, it's going to take you a long time. I would just test from like 2010, 2015, or do what I do on MetaTraders 2018 to current day. Change your delays from 0 latency to last ping from server. If you don't have an option to do last ping, try like random delay, and then also change your modeling from every tick to every tick based on real ticks, and then click start.
I mean, I would say, like, if you want to validate the strategy longer term, use like from 2010, but obviously market conditions are forever evolving and changing. You know, if you have a strategy that worked from 2010, 2017, and then it doesn't hold up after that, I would just put that in the bin. Like, personally, like, I would put it in the bin to something that's potentially not worked from 2010, 2017, but since 2017 has been working really well. I would trade that, but also make that, like, the good thing is, like, you might be thinking, but it wasn't profitable before. If it's profitable now, and you know, be strict towards your rules in terms of max drawdown stagnation period, and it's just, you just get rid of it if it underperforms again. You know, while the system's hot, you trade it. That's the way that I view it.
Yeah, absolutely. As said, I look like I work on Wall Street. Is that because I've got my hair up today? Do I look a bit more posh? Do I look like I got an old man's hairline? Because that's kind of how I feel right now. Yeah, I don't know about Wall Street. Maybe one day. Who knows?
I think I figured out what the problem was.
What is it?
On this file, I've got it to close at end of day, but on the other tests last week, there was no close at end of day. Don't know how something simple like that would have changed it, but there you go. There's something that's a learning lesson. Just stick with the original system and then build from it. So basically, it's validating that sometimes, if you can close at end of day, do it. But on this system, it seems that it doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, with It all depends on the asset that you trade, right? Like I like closing my FX trades at the end of the day because they're less trendy, whereas gold or indices, you know that you can probably if you're long on metals or indices, generally that asset is designed to increase in value over time. So you kind of have an edge there in itself, whereas FX pairs aren't the same. They're not baked the same way. So I like to close and reassess every single day. Yeah, MetaTrader does sound like a squeaky toy. Does it look any different so far?
I don't think. I think I'll need to restart my MetaTrader. I don't know what's going
on. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll do that in the background this week. We'll see if we can, make some changes to this and get it back into a working state so that we can test it next week. I am also going to try and get some more systems. I'd like to get it to, how many we got? We got 4. Have you got any to put on, Blayn?
I've put on 2 so far.
Oh, you have put on 2?
Yeah.
Oh, ledge.
So hoping for trades on Friday.
Okay, cool. I would like us to potentially get to maybe 10 by the end of this week. That means I'm going to have to get building seriously on strategy quant. Yeah, we've got 6. There's 4 more. I don't just want to put any old tut on there, but I'd like to get to 10 just so that it starts to feel like a portfolio, because it's taken 2 trades at the minute, and we're like, how many days are we into this collaboration? Like 3 days.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get it. Yeah, I'd like to get it moving, and then hopefully when we come on here next week, we can run the test on this strategy. Hopefully we've got 10 systems live on the portfolio. And then maybe in like 2 weeks, if not 3 weeks, it'll be out of calibration phase, and we'll be competing in DarwinIA then. So that's a goal. That's a goal. But Blayn, thank you very much for leading today's session. I always appreciate you being here. It's a shame about your MetaTrader, but that's what happens when you're a Mac boy. That's what happens when you're a Mac.
Yeah, I suppose.
Here's what it is. We'll test it again next week when we know that Blayn's MetaTrader sorted out. But guys, thank you all for joining. Thank you all for your comments and being a part of this journey as well. Tail, you can get booted from this session. You do know that, don't you? Yeah, I'm super excited to see where this goes. I mean, we're putting quite a bit of effort in now to this charity, Darwin, because it feels good to build it. It feels good to showcase it. We have XAQP and IME, which is kind of our private stuff, but being able to showcase this live and you guys seeing the build and what we're putting together, and then having it go to something good, it just feels really good to be a part of something like that. Do that in your forfeit weekly pictures. Yeah, please send me some more pictures of me processed by AI, please tell. So guys, thank you all for joining. I will be back tomorrow. In fact, you're in for a special treat tomorrow, maybe. You will have Blayn all to yourselves, because I am recording an interview with DOQ tomorrow, unless we have an issue with StreamYard, because I need to transfer ownership of StreamYard, at least for tomorrow and Thursday. I'm also down in London on Thursday, so again, you will be treated to just Blayn and not me Thursday. Don't worry, I will be back next week. However, tomorrow and Thursday sessions will be at 4 p.m. UK time like normal. Please, that show is helpful. I mean, don't know what you're saying, Rob. I apologize, dude. Do not know what you're saying.
Hopefully by tomorrow, everything will be fixed and I can show you the results of what's on the charity Darwin, as well as market overview.
Yeah, maybe that's what you can do tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. Right, guys, thank you all for joining. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're watching this from in the world. Blayn, once again, thank you for leading. And guys, I will see you in the next session.
Awesome. Thanks for joining, everyone.